Alright, so today we're going to be looking at whether or not prospector mining is actually mineable in the belt. As you can see here, we've got a number of lower RS signatures, 1850. That's usually going to be a single asteroid rock. A lot of people will tell you to actually go through this in nav mode, but I prefer to go in SCM mode for the simple fact that I can control it a lot better and I won't overshoot or miss the rocks. Scanning has actually gotten to the point now where you can actually blow by these rocks pretty fast, and then they're kind of hard to find until you get at least 3 or 4K away. So what we're going to do is we're actually going to approach the rock until we get within about 3K. We're going to continue to hit the scan just so we can keep track of them. And then once we get to about 3.1, we're going to hit it with a final ping until we get down to about a little under 2. And then at that point, we should be able to see it pop up. This is a problem a lot of people have been having, and they say that it's not working because you can lose track of them real quick in the belt this way. So as you can see now, we're under 3, so I'm not going to ping again until I get under 2. And I'm going to try to focus right there. And you can see this rock right here is actually what we're looking for. So, and once you get close enough to it, you'll want to actually hit M to bring up mining. Ooh, try not to do that. As you can see, this is a laranite rock at 5500. Nothing spectacular. Laranite's actually a second tier ore. In a pinch, it'll work for sure. Rock's about 5500, so it's not very big either. So we should be able to crack this pretty quick. Want to stay outside, stay kind of in your optimal zone. And I'm actually using a Hofstede with a Riker C3. Kind of stable, so I'll lower the power once I'm actually in the green a little bit. I'll bring it down, then tweak it a little bit to kind of steady it out. And then the nice thing about in the belt right now is anything under about 10K, most of the time you're going to actually see purple. There'll be no need for second brakes. So we'll shift over to extraction here while we're waiting for these to read. There's a 56. Yeah, that's not worth it. There's a 60, looks like 69. And obviously, individually, these rocks aren't very big. So you're going to have to usually break multiple rocks at this size to be able to get a full load. I've also, as you can see from my cargo area in the bottom right there, I've also switched out my bags for the Prospector with a mole so that I can actually have more rock, more storage. Instead of having 36, I've actually got 48. Just lets me stay out a little longer and get a little bit bigger load. If you don't have a mole, you can actually find somebody else that has one possibly and do the same thing. Alright, that being said, we've got that one done. So now we're going to go try to find the next rock.
Mining mode off.
when I'm doing this in the belt, I'm basically looking for anything that's close. So 14, 11, looks like 10 is going to be the winner, so we're going to go check this one and see what it's got. Again, I'm going to apply the same method I did before. I'm going to actually keep scanning periodically just so I don't lose the marker. And then once I hit about 3.1, 3.2, I'm going to give it one last ping until I get close enough to hit it again to actually find the rock specifically. And that's really just to make sure I don't lose the rock. So one final ping. Once we get down under about 2, I'll give it another ping and see if I can find the marker for it. In this particular case, you'll see that I actually kind of lost it in the mess here. So rather than worry about it too much, we'll just continue on and find another rock. Using the same principle every time. You gotta ping it periodically in order to actually keep it on the screen, otherwise it moves around. Alright, so now that I'm actually within 2.5, I'll actually slow down a little bit. It's gonna be probably right down here in this bottom right. You can sometimes see them moving. Yep, there it is right there. A lot of times when you're approaching them, you can actually see them.
Mining mode on. Extraction mode on.
And it's going to come up usually a lot of times like that, where it says inert materials. You just got to leave it set for a second so it can scan. In this particular case, it's quartz. I'm not going to mess with that. So I'm going to go find another rock. Here's one that's not as far away, so we'll use the same principle again. Keep going. The big thing about mining in the belt is really just a matter of persistence. You just got to keep going. There's going to be rocks that, unlike on, like, say for instance Selwyn, where it's geared more towards prospector mining, you're going to find a lot of rocks here probably that you can't break. Especially with the Prospector. Best I'm doing right now on the Prospector usually is around probably 12 to 14K, and that's with a Hofstede, a Riger C3, and carrying a Saber gadget. Alright, here's the rock down here. For those that don't know, the Saber actually reduces resistance, which is one of your big issues with cracking bigger rocks with a Prospector. You can actually apply the same principle to using an arbor and like the rental Prospector. Obviously it'll be much smaller rocks that you'll be looking at, but you can actually pick up a Saber to go with it and do the same thing. And with the Saber you can probably crack, I'm going to guess 8 to 10K maybe with an arbor. Yeah, this one's barrel, so I'm not going to worry too much about that. Go back to scanning mode. Let's see what else we can find.
Mining mode off.
If you look up here on the right, where the signatures are, anything up to about 1800s, you're going to be looking at probably a single rock. If you get above that, it'll actually probably be multiple rocks. If you see a perfectly even number divisible by 2000, that's salvage. not going to do you much good in a prospector. Gems are typically multiples of like 6 something. So like a 1920 rock would be gems typically, so you shouldn't really see too many of those in here. See there, I didn't keep the ping up, so it actually moved a little bit on me. Slow down a little bit as we're approaching. This takes a little bit longer, but in the belt you kind of have to do this just to make sure you're getting the rocks. Let's look around here. There it is right up here. Obviously you could probably make more money faster or get more ore faster in selling, but you also have to deal with pirates or those looking for PvP. If you actually just want to be able to mine and do your own thing and not have to worry about that, then the belt is the place to be.
Extraction mode on.
Because you're not defending yourself too much against anybody with a prospector. Again, Agricium, probably a little more. I think Agricium is actually a little higher right now than Laranite, but I'm still not interested in it.
Mining mode off.
You see, I go back to scan mode every time. Oh, there we go. That's going to be a group of rocks right there. It's like 8750. So let's go check that out. Normally in a big group like this, you're going to have big rocks. But a lot of times you might actually have some smaller rocks that you can actually get into as well. I always check out these big clusters, even a prospector, because while there may be large rocks in here that you can't crack, typically there's going to be at least one or two, maybe that you can. And you'll see that one. I've got another cluster that's right over top of it. This will probably make it a little more difficult to actually see, but it is what it is. There you go. So here's our rocks coming up here. Actually see them kind of drifting, like one's down here. There you go. We've got 4 rocks here. 5 rocks. Alright. So of these 5 rocks, at least 1 or 2 of them should be of a size that we can actually get with a prospector. And there might even be a couple that we can actually pick up without even having to break. I like to call those freebies, because they require pretty much no effort. We'll go in order here. This one looks like it's closer, so we'll start here. Very easy in space to lose these rocks.
Fracturing mode on.
If you run into a case like this where they look like they're not actually pinging for you so you can actually see what's in them, then you basically just want to give it a few. You can even go so far as to shoot it.
Mining mode off.
Sometimes that'll actually trigger it. There we go. See, I can actually tell that it triggered it because when I actually hit it with the Havoc scatter guns, because I like to play with those just because they're fun. Oh, there we go. We got a Terranite rock here with a corundum base. This may not be ideal for this particular setup, but I'll be able to break it with the saber at least. So let's go ahead and give it a try and see if we can get it moving. When you're mining here, you want to kind of find that sparky area like that. That's usually your best bet. So keep rocking, jack up the power, just to see what happens. At all. Sometimes you'll have to look at your ship and make control of how you calibrate it. Right now. Start with this rock and off a little bit. So we got lucky there. It didn't actually explode or anything too much. Looks like we might even have a couple of secondary breaks we gotta do. Let's see what we got here that's just we can pick up right off the bat. There you go. This is what we want. 400, 100% Terranite. That's good for a little bit. I usually take pretty much anything that's above about 30. I usually start out at the higher end though. I'll usually start with 50% plus. The idea is to have more of your sellable ores in than the ones that aren't worth much. Then if I actually get close to finishing a run, then I'll just go ahead and top off with whatever's around so I don't have to break another rock. Alright, hopefully we got most of that in those few chunks that we already grabbed. Yep, so I don't have to break that yellow because it's corundum, we don't want that. We're already at 20 SCU. I'm not going to worry about that one. We probably could pick it up, but I guess it is in my 30% range, so we'll go ahead and grab it. Just because no saying that these other rocks are going to have something I want in them. One rock usually has Terranite, the majority of them probably have some at least. It's just going to be a matter of whether or not we can break them or not. Alright, we'll go back to our fracture mode. Let's see what we got here. Check some of these other rocks that are around here, see if we can reach them from here before we go moving. There we go, we get to that one. So now I know the rest of them are in between these two, the one I've already cracked and this one. Nope, this one's a double. We're 50% Bexylite and Terranite. I would venture to guess that I'm probably going to need a saber on this. But we'll give it a shot anyway. Definitely want to be in that optimal zone, as you can see up in the top left of the display right there. Typically, if you're not seeing movement on the bar charge pretty quickly, you're going to need to actually got pretty accurate with this impossible feature as well. So we're going to go ahead and get out of the ship here. We're going to go put a gadget on. Now we'll see what we can do. couple of entry-level conversation points about the gadgets. Right now there's kind of a bug with them, where if you equip them, they don't necessarily let you just stick it right on the rock. So you have to equip it in your hands, and then hold F while you right click, and then that'll let you put it on there. So kind of like, first thing we're going to do is we're going to take the gadget that I have here, we're going to double click it to put it on the backpack. We're going to hit 5 until we get to it, and that actually gets it into our hands and working. We're going to hold F, right click, and place. And then we're going to slowly come up to the rock until it flattens out. And then we're going to click on it. Then we're going to back up a little bit just to make sure it stays. Alright, now for the fun part. The new EVA is nice, but boy, it does make it difficult to actually do this. So we're going to zoom in a little bit, and then you basically just have to play with these until you get it in the range. Oop. There we go. Well, yep, activate. So now we're active. Go back to the Prospector. You'll notice that I actually put that on the side. You want to either put the gadget on the side or put it on the back so you don't hit it with your laser, because that will actually destroy the gadget. The nice thing about the gadgets is you can reuse them. Again, if things don't seem to work in the game right now, just kind of wait for a minute. You need a little patience. It is still alpha after all. You'll notice my resistance went down a good bit. We'll see if we can actually do it now.
Fracturing mode on.
Being Vexilite and Terranite combined, this might be tough. It may not work. Let's see, we got a little bit of a charge right off the bat. So we'll see what happens. Alright, so we know we've got at least one rock that requires another break. These will obviously be a lot easier. And you'll see, after I check this one, I'll show you the gadget is actually out in space right now, so we'll have to go grab that. Oh, that's a good one, so we'll definitely want to take that. But we'll leave it for right now. Now I've only got so much room left because I've already taken other rocks as well, so. And we'll definitely want that. So we'll go ahead and grab that one right off the bat once we get this gadget back. So right here, right in front of me, you can see the flashing red light. That's my gadget. So we're going to go recover that because it's reusable.
Mining mode on.
Pardon a little sniffling and so forth here. Got a little bit of a sinus issue this morning. Now, if you can, what you want to do, not that you always can, but you'll want to actually scroll in here and hit the button, and then you'll have to hit detach. That'll put it back in your hands. You hit R and hold it. That'll put it back on your backpack. In this particular case, I'm just going to put it in my inventory and call it a day. And then we're going to go back to the ship and start reaping our rewards here. Some would say this is a little tedious, but I actually enjoy it, so. Alright, let's see what we got. Right off the rack. So that one is 89% Bexylite and Terranite. So we're going to go ahead and extract that right now. It's good for about, call it what, 8.5 SCU. We've got another one up here. It looks like it's about 77. So we'll go ahead and grab that too. About 4 SCU. And then we will actually have to take and break another rock apparently. I'm not going to worry too much about the rocks that aren't very much. But that's 3,700 still with that much Bexylite and Terranite in it, so that'll be a good one. And this one maybe, so we'll go ahead and start with this one up here. So we're already in range. I might even back up just a little bit. You can actually use your control to actually control your laser intensity. But you can also use distance now to control it. Wondering why it jumps around sometimes. A lot of that has to do with the instability. The higher the instability, the more it's level to jump around. Start seeing it jump real fast, you might want to back off just a little bit just to kind of even it out a little bit. So what we don't want is we don't want big jumps like that. Sometimes it's going to happen regardless. Like that happened. That's just the nature of the instability, really. Once you're in the grid, you kind of want to stay there. Ideally. Taking a little hit on the shield is not a big deal. Taking a big hit can be a problem. Alright, let's see if we've got any really good chunks here first. Something that's 100% Terranite and Bexylite together. And then we'll just go from largest to smallest as far as what we can get out of it. See that one right there? That's a good one. That's all Bexylite and Terranite. So we will grab that one for sure. Same with that one. And that one. So I should preface this by saying you don't always find a rock like this. But when you do, they're nice. So we got some good chunks here. So we've got, we'll definitely grab that one. It's bigger. And we probably won't grab that one. Although we might, if we have room. So we'll grab this one as well. Tell by the bottom right there where it says cargo, we're actually getting up close to their limit here. So I'm hoping to get enough out of these rocks to fill it up. So I don't have to break another one. For some reason right now we seem to have pumped out. It's not actually filling now. Oh, there we go. Caught up.
Warning. Storage full.
Storage is full. There you go. As you can see, prospector mining in the belt is extremely viable. Not a problem at all. I'm gonna go ahead and go sell now, and that should just about cover it. Personally, I like Arc L2. Has better return for your refining. Pretty much where we're going to call it. I'm just showing that it is extremely viable to still mine in the belt with a prospector. No pirates to speak of, so we don't have to worry about that anymore. If you got any questions or comments or anything, go ahead and leave them down below. And I will talk to you all next time.